Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel and thank you so much for joining me this week. So this week I want to talk about a blog post that Curipod released on May 9th, which really resonated with me, and it's about the issues with personalized learning and a lot of the reasons why Curipod put their actual resources together in their platform and really explaining their why. And then I'm going to explore the Curipod platform again. So it's not the first time I've explored it, but I just love this blog post and I just wanted to go through some of the points with you. So if you're interested, please keep on watching. Okay, so I'm just going to move myself out of the way, make myself a little bit smaller. And this blog post was shared on LinkedIn and I just loved every single thing that Curipod and the team have created and said. Why we're betting on learning together and a challenge to the personalized model and call for something better. So I think what's happened, and I've said this in previous videos, that personalized learning has become a model for individualized learning. And we don't want to encourage that individualized learning in a classroom setting. We want to really take advantage of the fact that we've got students in front of us and they can collaborate and they can be in this beautiful social constructivist environment. So I'm just going to go through some of the highlights. Okay, so this particular paragraph, the real reason kids are checked out. The quiet, isolated version of personalized learning isn't an edge case, it's becoming the default. Across the country, schools have adopted self-paced digital tools under the promise of personalized learning. But what does it actually look like? So this is what personalized learning looks like. It's a playlist, it's a learning pathway, it's a chatbot, it's a platform where each student is working on something different on a screen in silence and as an individual, can I say. After remote learning, students carried out a lingering sense of isolation, and in too many personalized classroom, that isolation continues to even in person. I just love this. And so there's a little bit of study here about the disengagement and then the limits of personalization. I talk about this a lot in my workshops and the myths of personalized learning and trying to encourage everyone to unpersonalize learning. So what does the blog say? We've seen the shift. Students on individual tracks use adaptive software to meet their needs. And yes, that's a form of differentiation, but I feel like what is the point of students coming to class if they're going to be working individually on a computer on a one-to-one level? So what happens? Students spend most of the class time working alone. Collaboration is replaced with click-through tasks. So each individual is just working through a task. Teachers are sidelined as monitors, not facilitators. So teachers are going and checking what stage people are at and where they need to go. There's little space for peer learning, discussion, or social connection. And so there's a little bit of studies here. And here is the gold piece, I think, in this blog article, which I talk about a lot. What students actually need. We need to be adopting social constructivism based on Vygotsky's work that reminds us learning happens through shared interaction and meaning making, not in isolated tasks. Mercer and Resnick's research shows that structured dialogue strengthens reasoning, memory, comprehension. When students verbalize, compare ideas, they deepen their understanding. Then, of course, we've got a lot of different types of visible thinking routines that can be done collaboratively. One in particular is Think, Pair and Share, which is a research-based strategy, shows how simple structures from peer-to-peer discussion, thinking individually, pairing with a partner and sharing out can unlock critical thinking and elevate every voice. And in Hattie's research, of course, that real-time specific feedback is one of the most powerful influences on student achievement. When students get immediate responses to their thinking, whether from a peer, a teacher, or AI, they reflect, revise, and grow while learning is still fresh. Now, belonging fuels engagement. We know we want our students to have a sense of community and a sense of belonging. Students are more motivated to persist when they feel part of a classroom community where their voice matters. I'm going to put a link to this blog. It's so important that everybody reads this. I just love the ideas. And then here is the rationale of why Curipod is actually different to the other AI one-to-one adaptive tools. At Curipod, we're betting on learning together, a collaborative environment. We've made purposeful choice to design our platform for synchronous, teacher-paced learning because that's where connection lives. Curipod doesn't push students into individualized learning tracks and call it engagement. Instead, it gives teachers the tools to create moments of collective learning, critical thinking, and shared voice. Now, I'm not going to read the rest of this article, and I also want to stress, I am not sponsored by Curipod. I look at a lot of different tools, and I really look at the educational benefit and how it enhances learning and encourages effective pedagogical principles such as inquiry-based learning, developing critical thinking, and developing conceptual understanding. And so I'm not sponsored by Curipod, but I just love this. So let's go and have a look at the difference between Curipod and how Curipod really focuses on that engagement and interaction and collaboration. So if I go here, okay, I've gone to my home and I've just gone to create lessons, and I've just seen that they've got Curify my slides. I haven't seen that before, and we'll be exploring that in another video. Otherwise, this video is just going to be half an hour long. But Curify my slides, upload my slides, and enhance with interactive activities and AI feedback. That's exactly what we want to do. So what we're going to do today is just explore the generate a lesson, okay? And I'm going to choose math. I'm just going to put something simple like quadratics. Okay, keep it very simple. I'm not even going to give any instructions here. And then we wanted an English, a mastery. Okay, we don't have to, we can align to standards if we want. Get the lesson. Detecting the pedagogy, topic, and learning objective. I could have put an inquiry-based approach, right? But let's just see, knowing the philosophy and ethos of Curipod and why it was created and the rationale, let's just see all of the interactive activities that it comes up with. So you share the pin with your students and they are online. They can then access the presentation, the interactive presentation. Click get lesson, personalize the lesson. Of course, we can edit anything that Curipod comes up with. And we've actually looked at a lot of different ideas in my partnerships when we discuss AI tools. And I love how Curipod has, yes, there's a subscribed version, but you can actually explore for free. Okay, so let me just move us over. Discover quadratics, the path to mastery. All right, what do we got here? So the second one, objective, I might change that to a guiding question. And then actually, let me just put this up here. A quadratic equation is a math sentence. Okay, which one do you find the most interesting? AI, respond to your answer. Okay, all right. Okay, so slides was let's explore. Okay, how to solve. So here are some steps here. Slide 6, think, pair, and share. So encouraging you to go and have some dialogue with your peers. Why is factoring important in solving quadratics? I really like that question. How do you check your solutions? These are really good, deep thinking questions. And then looking at misconceptions. Myth, quadratics are always complicated. Many students see the squared term and assume quadratics are too hard. Quadratics can be simple if you break them down. Slide 8, some drawings. Okay, choose a term and draw it. So students will actually join this presentation. They're able to draw a quadratic equation or something to do with factoring. And there is a teacher dashboard and you can see all of the responses. So let's practice. Draw a real world object that can be related to a quadratic equation like a bridge. Lovely. So see how this is really interactive. And then there's a question here where you have to explain your approach. Okay, and then chat with AI. Euclid, so the father of geometry, laid the groundwork. How does the understanding of Euclid's work help with solving quadratic equations? And Euclid will help reply your answer. And then let's go to the next slide here. How might you use quadratics in real life, like sports or engineering? So these are so good. All of the questions promote curiosity, discussion, critical thinking, and then everyone inputs in the class. After a discussion, we'll vote for the best answers. I mean, this is phenomenal. This is phenomenal, Curipod. Honestly, I'm a huge fan. I love how teachers can just use this with a free sign up. And of course, there's a subscription as well. What is one question you still have about today's lesson? What great qualitative data? I don't like to call it formative assessment because formative assessment could be summative assessment, summative could be formative. So I like to call it collecting evidence of student learning. And so if I collect all of these questions, I will then be able to plan and redirect my next lesson based on the questions that the students have. And is there anything else? Let's just have a look. No, that's it. That is phenomenal. So that was just a quick run through of creating a lesson in any subject area. And of course you can edit the activity, you then share it, the pin with your students, they join and they answer. And the purpose is to promote collaboration, think, pair and share, critical thinking, discussion, and a social constructivist environment. So thank you so much, Curipod. Your values align with my values, and it's great to see an AI tool that's not just helping teachers do the same things faster, like create worksheets, but try and adopt more engaging and interactive lessons. Thank you once again for joining me this week, and I hope to see you next time.